Good evening and thanks for joining us on Nationwide today. I am Elizabeth Omori. We begin with security matters. Police operatives attached to the Imo State Command have rescued 4 hostages in Umokane, Ohaji local government area of Imo State. Acting on a distress call, the operatives located the kidnappers' hideout and engaged them in a gun battle, neutralizing 2 suspects. The operation led to the safe release of the victims and the recovery of arms and ammunition. Similarly, police operatives in Ebonyi State also arrested 17 suspects in Afikpo local government area for the gruesome murder of Urumchi Okorocha. The deceased was accused of alleged witchcraft and was lynched. Meanwhile, the Inspector General of Police, Kayode Egbetogun, condemns the act of jungle justice and urges citizens to report suspected crimes to the appropriate authorities. And the Nigerian Police Force refutes claims circulating on social media alleging the arrest of a Deputy Commissioner of Police in Kaduna State for purportedly supplying arms to bandits and kidnappers. A statement by the force states that the allegations are baseless, false, and intended to mislead the public. The police say it remains committed to maintaining transparency and upholding the highest standard of integrity in their operations and advise the public to disregard such unfounded reports. Meanwhile, the people of Natsini village are reeling from a devastating attack by suspected terrorists, leaving trails of destruction and despair in its wake. In the aftermath of the attack, villagers are urgently appealing to authorities for assistance. Abubakar reports.
Attack on Natsini village has sent shockwaves throughout the region, highlighting the need for increased security measures and support for the affected community. Eyewitnesses described the attack as brutal and traumatic as gunshots were heard all over the community, with many residents fleeing at the hour of the attack, which claimed the lives of 2 policemen patrolling on the highway.
It happened in the night. They took us unaware. We just had gunshots. We seriously panicked, hearing what was happening to our neighbors. Here in my hamlet alone, they took 100 cows and 5 sheep.
The bloodshed of Natsini, Muhammad Bello Magaji, stated that the bandits took away over 500 livestock from the community. He also commended the state government and the Emir of Argungu for their immediate response to the tragic event and their commitment in restoring peace among the people living in the community.
We believe this government is the government of the people, and they will do the needful.
As the people of Natsini community struggle to come to terms with the devastation, they remain hopeful that their cries for help will be heard. Meanwhile, the Kebbi State Commissioner of Police, Bello Sani, has visited the community for an on-the-spot assessment. He disclosed that the police has recovered some of the cows, adding that the police are still on the trail of the suspect, whom he alleged Adila Kurawa said. The Commissioner of Police was also at the palace to commiserate with the Emir of Argungu, Alhaji Ismaila Muhammad Mera. In Argungu, Abubakar, NTA News.
To drug interception, operatives of the National Drug Law Enforcement Agency, NDLEA, began the year with the arrest of a wanted drug lord and legal socialite in connection with a recent shipment of illicit substances. Salwa Khalil Ibrahim brings us details.
Known in the drug on the world as Yaruka, the 61-year-old has her true identity shrouded in mystery for years while she remained on the wanted list of NDLEA for leading one of the drug cartels operating from Mushin area of Lagos. The lead was, however, blown off on Wednesday, 1st January 2025, when NDLEA operatives intercepted a truck carrying 44 jumbo sacks containing 1,540 kilograms of imported cannabis. A follow-up led to her arrest at her hideout in Lagos. On the surface is a businesswoman who imports fabrics and shoes from China, but beneath is an alleged illicit drug trafficker. She is also recognized as the Iyalaji of Blessing Sisters, an influential club of society women in Lagos. Meanwhile, NDLEA officers on Friday, 27th December 2024, arrested a US-trained Nollywood and Hollywood filmmaker who is also a motivational speaker, following the arrest of his partner in connection with a shipment of 33 parcels of loud which arrived the import shed of the Murtala Mohammed International Airport Ikeja on 24 December 2024 from the United States of America, concealed in large wooden boxes. In Kwara State, a female fresh graduate and her business partner were on Sunday, 29th December 2024, arrested by NDLEA operatives in Ilorin based on credible intelligence that they were producing and selling drug-laced cupcakes to students at the community. When their apartment was searched, 42 pieces of drugged cakes were recovered from them. In Kano, NDLEA operatives on Tuesday, 31st December 2024, raided Makarfi, Dandashi area of Dala local government, where they recovered more than 149,000 pills of tramadol and XL5 from a local dealer. NDLEA assures unrepentant illicit drug traffickers that 2025 will be a tougher year for them as the agency is reinforced to fight illicit drug supply and consumption in the country. In Abuja, Salwa Khalil Ibrahim, NTA News.
Now, the Nigerian Air Force has held its base socio-cultural activities to commemorate the end of a successful operational year 2024 at the 013 Quick Response Force of the Nigerian Air Force Base, Minna, Niger State, where the force reiterated its resolve to maintaining swift response to security challenges in the country as an integral part of ongoing Operation Fansanyama and other joint security efforts. Messi Fabi reports.
The 013 Quick Response Force of the Nigerian Air Force Minna-based socio-cultural activities (BASA) brought together officers and their families as well as people of the host community in a relaxed atmosphere to celebrate the end of an eventful and successful operational year 2024 while re-strategizing for the new year. The event, authorized by the Chief of the Air Staff, Air Marshal Hassan Bala Bakar, showcased the rich and diverse cultural heritage of Nigeria, as well as create an avenue to appreciate personnel for their efforts, resilience, and dedication to their constitutional responsibility of defending the nation's sovereignty and territorial integrity.
Having checked through what we did for the year 2024, we are committed to more activities to fight insurgency and banditry in the country coming into 2025.
The security and welfare of the citizens is the primary responsibility of the government, and the resources will always be available for them to carry out their responsibilities.
The socio-cultural activities, which showcased Nigeria's diverse dishes, featured award to deserving personnel in different fields under the Air Force jurisdiction. In Minna, Messi Fabi, NTA News.
A bit on education, the management of Abubakar Tafawa Balewa University, Bauchi, says the physical screening for prospective students for admission during the 2024 to 2025 academic session is still ongoing, and all candidates for admission who have duly completed their online screening and have been invited for the physical screening but were not able to do so should hasten to complete the process. In a statement by the Director, Information and Public Relations, Zailani Bapa, the management says online registration for both old and new students is to be completed by the 7th of January 2025, while 300 or 500 level returning students are to resume on the 6th of January 2025 and complete their physical registration by 7th January 2027. Late physical registration will be conducted between the 8th and 12th of January 2025. Also, new and 200 level students will arrive on the 8th of January 2025, while the physical registration holds between 8th and 9th of January 2025, and their late physical registration is scheduled for 10th to 13th of January 2025. You're watching Nationwide on NTA. Time to head to Lagos for more reports where Adeola is standing by. Adeola, let's hear from you.
Thank you, Elizabeth. Compliments of a season to you. African youths are beginning to embrace the saying that do not think of what your country can do for you, but what you can do for your country. This was demonstrated by some youths drawn from 10 African countries engaged in exceptional humanitarian work in their localities. Diana Ajali, who witnessed their recognition by the Future Africa Leaders Award Foundation in Lagos, tells us more.
In an ever-changing society such as Africa, where youths are faced daily with various challenges, ranging from lack of access to quality education, grooming young people towards becoming change agents should be given priority. These young men and women drawn from across the African continent have not just demonstrated leadership qualities, but imparted several lives in their local communities.
Campaign reached out to over 516 age mothers from local communities, and which led to the rehabilitation and rescue of 48 victims of sex trafficking.
My work is inspiring youth to start in this field, to train them in skills in technology, and train them in skills in entrepreneurship.
I want to give a special thank for our man of God that's supporting me a lot.
The star prize winner of Benin Republic was given additional $25,000 grant, courtesy the Future Africa Leaders Foundation, under the auspices of Reverend Chris Oyakilome International Foundation.
I found out the different ingredients that can be replaced, and I made the Moringa fresh toothpaste.
The recognition, however, aims to identify, celebrate, train, and support African youth who have been adding their voices through exemplary leadership qualities.
These opportunities have not only amplified their work, but also inspired millions of young Africans.
There are other fora that the foundation provides. There's a leadership initiative, a program where people are mentored. And it is from this leadership initiative that there's a leadership initiative award.
120 youths have been financially empowered through Fala initiative since inception. In Lagos, Diana Ajale, NTA News.
Base Sociocultural Activities is an initiative of the Nigerian Air Force to mark the end of a training year, and over the years, it has become a source of respite for personnel of the force. Joel Kukuola reports that apart from promoting esprit de corps, the BASA at the 055 NAF Camp Legico Barracks in Lagos was an opportunity to celebrate Nigeria's cultural diversities and fit the veterans in the profession.
The well-being of Air Force veterans will be top priority in view of their meritorious service to the nation. And this assurance by relevant authorities is also in the front burner at this year's Bazaar. It was a carnival-like atmosphere as airmen and airwomen had a rare opportunity to put aside the regimented lifestyle synonymous with the military. With family members and host community in attendance, the event featured cultural performances from different ethnic groups in the country. For many of the officers gorgeously dressed in attires promoting various cultures and languages, it is an opportunity to relieve stress. The special guests of honor and chief hosts who were highly elated commended the officers for their dedication to duty, which reflected in the training year.
We aim to build on the successes of the past years, which includes enhanced welfare, discipline, sustained training to fulfill our constitutional roles, and more importantly, a high level of operational efficiency.
Excellent achievements and successes recorded in 2024
by 055 nav base cap is not only satisfying but highly commendable.
The military are always combat ready, and this was aptly demonstrated with this tug of war. Officers who distinguished themselves in the year under review were celebrated for their outstanding performances. Lighting up the campfire is expected to herald a new training year. In Lagos, Joel Mukmola, NTA News.
And those are the reports from Lagos. Kemi in Ibadan will give us the next set of reports when we return from this break for the continuation of Nationwide. To stay with us.
Nationwide on the network service of the NTA. Welcome to Ibadan. Government at all levels have been told to prioritize health insurance to effectively deal with mental health and the general well-being of the people. This came up at a public lecture in Ibadan, the state capital. Correspondent Rofia and Imashan Badmos has details.
Delivering a lecture on the situation of mental health in Nigeria, burden of mental disorders, meeting the needs of the population, and offer insight into bridging the gap, Professor Oye Gureje said the global burden of mental health disorders is not only high, but also increasing, adding that disability-adjusted life year supports the primacy of mental health conditions as a cause of societal burden.
Through training, supervision, and support. Once we do that, we'll be able to bring down the burden of mental health conditions in the country.
Medical professionals said Professor Oshuntokun's clinical acumen and thoroughness were features that always struck a chord in the mind of his trainees.
Still being cited, the local disease that's called rase, but he did work on it and he was able to link it to the fact that people are consuming a lot of dairy and unprocessed cassava food.
Break down the stigma around mental health. We all have it. We all know people who suffer from it. And indeed, as you heard today, many of us will suffer from it. So let's start talking about it as a fact and treating it as a fact.
Medical experts say the universal health coverage will become a reality when the necessary financial policy and attitudinal attention is directed at driving the mental health service reform in the country. In Ibadan, Rofia and Imashan Badmos, NTA News.
To reflect the philosophy of Chief of the Air Staff, Air Marshal Hassan Abubakar, who emphasizes a highly motivated force driven by welfare, the Air Force Research and Development Institute, Osogbo, hosted its base annual socio-cultural activities, BASA. Femi Afariogun reports that the event brought together officers, airmen, airwomen and their families for an unforgettable celebration of unity and excellence.
It was a day of camaraderie, culture and celebration at the base annual socio-cultural activities of the Nigerian Air Force Research and Development Institute, Osogbo. Air Force personnel displayed colorful cultural heritage from Nigeria's 6 geopolitical zones. The Director General of the Institute, Air Vice Marshal Pius Oayimire, urged personnel to remain steadfast in their duty to protect the nation's territorial integrity.
A man who is not happy will not be able to fight well. So we encourage our officers and men to be happy. I will try to make ourselves happy through events like this.
So this cultural thing will tell you, they are like us. They dance, they eat, they move. It's just to tell you that we are all in together. But let us work together with them to protect ourselves.
Awards were presented to the best airman and airwoman of the year 2024, while Nigerian Army won the tug of war competition. In Osogbo, Femi Afariogun, NTA News.
And that's it from Ibadan. Elizabeth is back to you.
Thank you so much, Kemi, and nice to see you. Now, moving on, renowned Nigerian-British professional boxer and 2-time world heavyweight champion Anthony Oluwafemi Olasheni Joshua has visited the chairman of the Nigerians in Diaspora Commission, NIDCOM, Abike Dabiri Erewa, in Lagos. Joshua, accompanied by members of his family, encouraged Nigerians in diaspora to stay connected with Nigeria and contribute their quota to the nation's development.
Blessings and good energy. The energy is coming all the way from Nigeria. My feet are here right now as we speak. My feet are here on the soil. And so we want to thank Auntie for looking after us as well, for the amazing work that she's doing.
Erewa, in her remarks, expressed her delight for hosting the boxing icon, commending him for his achievements and for being an exemplary ambassador of Nigerians globally.
Structure, security, roads and all that, which is happening. So under the renewed up agenda of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, we want to encourage them to remember home. And I'm glad they're doing that. And beyond remembering home, investing at home.
Acknowledged his efforts in inspiring young Nigerians to pursue excellence both within and outside the country, describing him as a man of unparalleled humility, strength and character. So infrastructure development, the long-awaited reconstruction of the Koko Mahuta Dabai Road in Kebbi State is to commence before the end of January 2025. Governor Nasser Idris of Kebbi State disclosed this while meeting with the Zuru and Yoruba communities in Birnin Kebbi at the Government House. Correspondent Abdul Jalil Mohammed Bawa tells us more.
The popular Koko Mahuta Dabai Road has been in deplorable condition for ages, especially for its potholes that can turn a 2 to 3 hours journey into a grueling 6 hours ordeal. However, relief is on the horizon as Governor Nasser Idris has secured approval from President Bola Ahmed Tinubu to complete the mega project in 2025, demonstrating their commitment to fulfilling campaign promises.
The period of politics has ended. We are now in governance. So now it is look into people's problem and way of solving them.
The news has sent waves of excitement throughout the state, particularly among people of Zuru and the southern region, who have expressed their gratitude through a spokesperson.
River Road. That road has also been awarded and we are very happy for that.
The governor also met with the Yoruba community in Birnin Kebbi.
Us about our hall and they about one mosque where we mentioned. And then you already promised about that hall now.
Looking ahead in 2025, Governor Idris is optimistic and has envisioned a year of empowerment and human development for the state. In Birnin Kebbi, Abdul Jalil Mohammed Bawa, NTA.
To road safety, Abuja State Government has inaugurated the first batch of cadets and marshals of the State Road Traffic Agency, Barota. Governor Bala, at the passing parade of the newly recruited personnel, says the establishment of the agency is to complement efforts of conventional traffic law enforcement agencies. Awal Abdullahi reports.
This is the official passing out parade of the newly recruited personnel of the Bauchi State Road Traffic Agency after undergoing regimental training and induction course on traffic management. Governor Bala Mohammed says over 2,000 unemployed youth have been engaged in the agency, which has the responsibility of arresting road traffic violators to ensure smooth traffic flow across the states.
Let me at this junction draw the attention of the cadets and marshals of Barota that they have been entrusted with the power to enforce the law in accordance with international best practice. Your duties are to serve as peacemakers, educators and protectors of public safety and interests. As a government, we will ensure that you will continue to be trained and retrained and be provided with vehicles and communication systems to perform your duties effectively.
One of the cardinal initiatives of the Federal Road Safety Elite Agency in Traffic Management is to ensure that traffic management is established at all levels of government.
They have undergone 21 rigorous training and induction courses, not only on traffic laws, but on morals and good conduct with the general public while on duty.
The event featured a decoration of the newly recruited officers. In Bauchi, Awal Abdullahi, NTA News.
To other news, the Transmission Company of Nigeria, TSN, says due to the ongoing revitalization project along the Upper Axis in Abuja, 8 transmission towers will be relocated along the Kokwaba-Apo line on the outer southern expressway route. TSN says the relocation work will necessitate a planned power outage from 6th to 20th of January 2025 from 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. daily. The estimated duration for the dismantling and construction of the towers. TSN notes that there will be rationing of electricity supply in Kubwa, Karu, Maraba, Nyanya, Masaka, Kefi, Kokwaba, Apo Mechanic, Lugbe Trademore Estate, Piakasa, Sabon, Lugbe Chika and Alaita Axis. The TCN apologizes to customers who will be affected while the exercise lasts. All right, moving on. The year 2024 was low on activities for the Ministry of Humanitarian Affairs and Poverty Reduction, but did not stop the federal government from carrying out social interventions in meeting the needs of vulnerable Nigerians. Ruth Aguela brings us highlights of the gains recorded in meeting the needs of Nigerians.
Globally, the burden of humanitarian crisis remains predominant, even as developing nations struggle for social inclusion for all. For a nation like Nigeria, threatened by natural disasters, leaving communities ravaged, livelihoods cut short, creating a chain of displacement and a burden of humanitarian crisis for the country. The ministry has continued to fulfill its mandate in institutionalizing federal government's efforts towards promoting social inclusion and providing effective coordination of both national and international humanitarian interventions to bring succor to the vulnerable population through diverse intervention programs, while ensuring direct impact on the poor and vulnerable groups.
In line with renewed hope agenda of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, he said, no one should be left behind, and we're in this world for just 3 reasons: for humanity.
I'm very happy because for some times now, no one has remembered us. So this is God's blessings.
In a bid to ensure proper coordination and set target rights towards reducing poverty across the country. In October, President Bola Tinubu appointed new ministers to oversee the affairs of the ministry after the long wait of 10 months with no leadership at the helm of affairs.
Our focus is to see how we can reposition the ministry. And in doing that, we quite believe that, the major issue is to restore trust. Because whether we agree or not, the ministry since inception has suffered a lot of public trust issue, most especially at both local and international level. In order to do that, we must ensure that we have a strong data recording with National Identity Management Commission in terms of getting average Nigerian that will be in our social register to have his national identity number. And also we must work closely with our banks to ensure that we have a collaborative effort through the World Bank to get so many of those who are in our national social register to have their bank number so that they can easily be identified.
For the ministry, part of the target would focus on key thematic areas as efforts are on to revamp and strengthen already existing programs to ensure accountability and transparency framework. Renewed hope is the mantra. Expectations are high. However, Nigerians are encouraged to keep hope alive with federal government's commitment towards lifting millions of Nigerians out of poverty.
Now, President Bola Tinubu has commended Governor Peter Mbah of Enugu State for his commitment to development and good governance within the various projects executed within his first 2 years in office. The president, on a one-day working visit to Enugu, inaugurated some of the projects cutting across education, health and infrastructure executed by the state government. State House correspondent Musbao Danwahab reports.
Enugu received President Bola Tinubu on his first working trip in 2025. Governor Peter Mbah, in his first 18 months in office, has delivered some developmental projects enough to earn the presidential visit. The people of the state too certainly delighted to have the president on this mission.
I thank you very much.
The governor made further statements on his commitments toward providing adequate security in the state with a state-of-the-art command and control center as well as 150 patrol vehicles with AI-embedded surveillance cameras.
And since to the glory of God Almighty,
President Tinubu also inaugurated the Enugu Smart Green School, one of the 30 completed and equipped out of the 260 under construction across wards of the state. Other projects include 90 completed urban roads in the state capital, 60 completed and equipped Type 2 primary healthcare centers out of the 260 under construction, as well as completed multiple Auditorium International Conference Center in Enugu. At the Governor's Lodge, the President addressed a gathering of leaders in the state. For him, political affiliation does not matter, but commitment to general development, which he says Governor Peter Mba has demonstrated with his futuristic projects.
and you are demonstrating that commitment, irrevocable commitment to human development. Please continue to cooperate and collaborate with your son, brother, friend here, who is really committed to pushing the development of Enugu State and be a good symbol of Southeastern state.
At the national level, the President expressed his dedication to the process of building a country that all Nigerians would be proud of.
This house, we must build it. Build it to satisfy our immediate need, which is not going to be enough yet, but our tomorrow too. That is why the removal of the fuel subsidy was necessary. You cannot spend the future of generations yet unborn in advance.
Governor Peter Mba has an ultimate goal of growing the economy from the current 4.4 billion naira to 30 billion naira, and he believes these projects are fundamental towards achieving the targets.
Your Excellency, all these infrastructural developments are largely possible because of the bold initiatives you have taken, the courageous pronouncements you made in order to free up funds for development. And with the support and your unwavering commitment of the security agencies, the police, the DSS, the army, Your Excellency, I'm pleased to announce that we no longer observe sit at home in Enugu.
President Bola Tinubu is back in Lagos after the working visit. In Lagos, Musbao, then Wahab, NTA News.
The Nigerian Air 115 Special Operations Group Port Harcourt is building bridges of reunion between retired and 7 personnel to strengthen connection and address challenges affecting those who have made sacrifices for national security through their base socio-cultural activities, showcasing Nigeria's unity in diversity with much fanfare. Kingsley Amajeri reports.
The 115 Special Operations Group NAF Port Harcourt Chief of the Air Staff Pali with the veterans is a deliberate initiative by the current administration of the Nigerian Air Force to renew ties between past and present personnel, geared towards providing opportunity to listen, understand, and act on issues of concern. The idea is born out of the recognition of invaluable contributions of these veterans towards making Nigerian Air Force a formidable institution.
It provides an invaluable opportunity for us to listen to some health tips and a perspective on how to use soft skills acquired during military service to generate income.
Meanwhile, the Nigerian Air Force 2025 Bay Socio-Cultural Activities was another event put together by the authorities to strengthen bonds in recognition of the importance of socio-cultural events towards fostering unity.
This event is designed to nurture the spirit of teamwork, resilience, and excellence that define the Nigerian Air Force.
The cultural dance from different ethnic groups, tug of war, egg race, and eating competition thrilled spectators. The objective, Nigerian Airport authorities note, is to create an atmosphere of relaxation away from tactical operations. In Port Harcourt, Kingsley Amajiri, NTA News.
Thank you, Kingsley. The Central Bank of Nigeria has clarified that its staff early exit program is voluntary and non-mandatory. This was at the resumed hearing of the House of Representatives investigation into the reported layoff of more than 1,000 staff of the Apex Bank and an associated 50 billion naira payoff scheme. CBN's Deputy Governor, Corporate Services, Bala Mohammed Bello, explained that no staff has been coerced to leave the bank without their consent. His explanation followed inquiry by the House had a committee probing the retirement exercise.
We implore you to avail this committee with necessary informations, facts and figures, but be rest assured, the assembly of these members of this committee, I am very optimistic and certain that we are responsible enough to be fair in our fact findings. We should be balanced and will be fair to all manner of members involved in this exercise.
The exercise that you are mentioning, nobody was actually terminated or dismissed. People were retired with their full benefits for us to have opportunities to reinvigorate and bring in new blood or new perspectives to how things are done. So that was at the instance of the bank. People were actually retired with their full benefits. This one that is taking place or has taken place now is strictly voluntary. So there are two different things altogether. But if you take the two together and you juxtapose it within the context of the overall strategy to streamline the operations of the bank, to refocus the operation of the bank, to invigorate the operation of the bank, to re-energize the operation of the bank, you can take the two together as leading to the same objective. Whereas one, people were retired with their full benefits. Okay? The other was actually absolutely, voluntary.
Time to take another break. To stay with us, we'll be right back. Thank you so much for being there. Now let's talk sports. Thank you, Sulaiman. Now let's take some messages. thanks for staying with the NTA. Now, the Commissioner of Police, FCT, Olatunji Disu, has commended operatives of the Territory Special Task Force operatives, Operation Swift, for their tenacity and devotion to addressing the nation's capital's security challenges. He gave the commendation while addressing the troops at the maiden end of the season banquet organized by the police command to unwind. Onotu Yakubu brings us details.
The occasion was designed to give the about 500 Joint Task Force operatives a laid-back setting to unwind while honoring bravery, steadfastness, and professionalism throughout the recent operations, especially those that took place culminating in a heat-free Yuletide festivities across the nation's capital. A first of its kind in the territory, Commissioner of Police Tunji Disu commends their camaraderie, discipline, and operational advancements which have restored normalcy across the area.
These men have been deployed a number of times to assist us in a lot of clearance, in a lot of serious operations. And despite everything happening every other state, you notice that we have it wonderfully well, peaceful environment during this period. This is because of the wonderful job members of this Joint Task Force put into operations.
Deputy Commissioner of Police Ishaku Sharu, who coordinates the operation, and contingent commanders, has this to say.
The Commissioner of Police, the Nigeria Police Force, and all other security agencies have all come together, and they are very happy to see you today, to also, fraternize with you.
We've received a lot of calls from the residents praising the efforts of every one of the security agencies involved in this Joint Task Force. And the administration is happy about this, and the high level of synergy that was displayed by the various security agencies.
I want to say kudos to the Commissioner of Police for bringing this idea together. We have been having Joint Task Force prior before now in FCT, but to the glory of God, man, this is superb, and this is one of the best of its kind. So we want to appreciate Commissioner of Police for this.
CP Disu expressed delight and urged their commitment to continue the efforts against all forms of threat to security in the territory. Onotu Yakubu, NTA News.
3 Nigerians, Hadiza Abba, Fatima Umate Mala, and Fatima Kanai Gambo, have been released. The three, in a statement by the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, were arrested and prosecuted for drug trafficking on the 5th of March 2024 at the Prince Mohammed bin Abdulaziz International Airport, Medina, Saudi Arabia, after spending 10 months in detention. The statement adds that the arrest of the 3 women led to the earlier arrest of 2 Nigerians who were found in possession of 80 capsules of cocaine weighing 900.28 grams and 70 capsules of cocaine weighing 789.5 grams. The women were detained by the authorities on suspicion of being accomplices and abating the trafficking of the banned substance found on the arrested Nigerians. The trio's arrest attracted much attention in Saudi Arabia and Nigeria. However, the successful release was achieved after prolonged diplomatic and legal engagements, which culminated in their discharge and acquittal, as well as subsequent handover to the Consulate General of Nigeria in Jeddah. The ladies were received by Ambassador Muazzam Yahya, the Consul General of Nigeria in Jeddah, and are currently awaiting relevant immigration processes for their return to Nigeria to be reunited with their families. Good news indeed. And this is where we end Nationwide today. Thank you so much for your time. I'm Elizabeth Omori. Good evening.